Oh, is this thing on? Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to step out and get the right idea. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Blerds of all ages, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It is I, Montel, Navy Montel, your frosty bearded Blerdicorn. I don't know why I got hair popping in my mouth. What is wrong with this thing? This beard has a mind of its own. I'm here to tell y'all straight up. Hopefully you guys are taking care of yourselves. Do what I tell you to always do. Hopefully you're washing these, covering this, staying as far away as you need to because my friends have been recovering from getting sick. I need y'all to take care of yourselves, especially the educators out here. If you're a teacher and you teaching, vitamin C all day long. Even if you turn into a scaly orange, I'd rather you have you here, okay? Because some of these kids are, no, I don't feel so, Keep them at home. Keep them at home. But today we're going to talk with someone who had an option to do that sort of thing, and he created something magical. It's wonderful. But of course, thank you everyone so much for joining us. If you're here on IG, what is going on, fam? Yo, what's up? What's good? Everybody popping up in here, being amazing and incredible. I appreciate it, y'all. I'm also here on the YouTubes. Blerdicorn Convo is going to be on the YouTube. So if you can't do it on IG and you want to chit chat, come on over here. Come on the other side. Come to the dark side because it's, we melanated. So technically, we got that beautiful darkness in there. But I wasn't going to do this by myself. Australian Legends, what's going on, love? How are you? I wasn't going to do this by myself. I had to bring in the top choice quality people to ensure that, what am I talking about? They're fun as hell, okay? So I'm going to bring them in. First one, who has allowed me to be the second in command of their illustrious comic book show, I must bring in Lady Mandalore, room full of blurs. Okay, we gotta do it again. There we go. What's going on? How are you, sweetheart?
I'm great. I feel like I'm missing a little bit of something, but I'm going to fix that in a little bit later. But I'm great. How are you? Happy Friday, everybody. Happy F that job day.
Yeah. It's an F that job. You know what? I think that's the common thing. Let's go ahead and make everybody look. There we go. We're going to bring a little life into it now. They have this thing on Streamyards now where you can do 3 different frames. You can do a circle, rounded, square, or just a rectangle. That's great and it's fine. But if you're trying to hide a junky room like yours truly, you want to kind of squirrel it in. So that is the workshop of a brilliant mind at work. That is, I said what I said. I said, you know what? And you got the co-host back there too. What's going on, man?
That's security.
You know what? Kira, Lady Mandalore, is just one of 2 brilliant people I'm bringing over here. So I have someone who is now my my PAX Unplugged cohort. The person who thought that board games were in just a room in a hotel. They are. I got to bring in Lady Geek by Hart. What's going on, sunshine?
Love y'all both. Hello. How are y'all doing? And Navy, if you don't stop self-deprecating yourself.
Oh my God!
Okay. Wow. If you let's put 10 toes on that business. If you don't stop,
I don't like it.
Deprecating yourself. Stop.
I don't like it.
Okay, stop yelling at me. Okay, just
I don't need them.
Stop.
I don't need them.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll
you know
go.
what?
I want to make sure that we got that off our chests, and now we're good. And I don't want to hear that. I want to hear about how you are putting in the love and support to everybody and with yourself as well.
That is true. I'm used to being a humble soul. I'm not used to being braggadocious. So
Wait a minute.
There's a difference between.
Hold on. Yes, exactly. No.
Okay.
Poo-pooing on yourself is completely different than being humble. And humble is on some bullshit too. Nah, be proud of what you do. You need to put yourself down and then make somebody else feel better about them goddamn stuff. They can go Don't make me do it.
Take a breath.
All right, you good? Okay, you good?
Wait, I'm advertising.
What the ham sandwich? What the hell? Okay, so you know what? We ain't gonna do this today. So y'all, if y'all join us on IG, hello to the fam. Show you're talking about snatches do rag. First of all,
I like that.
What we ain't gonna do is call this do rag. Okay, shout outs to my girl, and believe it or not, for providing this amazing headband. If y'all want to check out her stuff, it's incredible. I love it. I wear it every day. And Why is this slow motion coming out of the camera? What?
You good. Keep going. It ain't
All I
about me.
see
It's
is
about
here
you.
and yet
you
you
good.
just to yourself by calling me out. Okay. So if y'all were looking for bonnets, do-rag, headbands, also socks, custom pillows, embroidered shirts, go check out Believe It or Not. She is incredible. Not just a friend, but a fantastic business owner. And Blerd owned, veteran owned, and woman owned. You cannot go wrong. That's the hat trick
That's
right
the
there.
lineup.
That's the hat trick right there. What's going on, everybody? Yo, Comics for Christmas. What up, dude? What's up, man? Oh, you know my eyes back. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. We're right there. Oh, Taco Noir. Guess what? Shout out to Taco Noir for giving me this wonderful chat. Oh, see, you know what? Now we got to shout out to folks. Yo, if y'all want something like this, the new sneaky box is out for Otaku Noir. Go to otakunoir.com. Show the amazing business love. And yep, you see this? Yeah, look at it right there. Yeah, look at that. We still see nothing but neck and hair. There we
I was
go.
about to say if you can get your cup out too.
I don't have it.
I'm sorry.
I don't have one. It's okay.
But you got something dope from Otaku Noir. You always do. What you talking about?
I do.
Yo,
shout out to Lynn K, by the way.
I can. So, go check out Taco Noir. You know why? Because each of us has a promo code and you can get a discount off of your purchase. That is Geek by Hart. That is Roomful of Blerds. And of course, Navy Montel. But it is not about us. It is about our guest. Because this amazing person, author, parent, just a Blerdicorn Supreme. You know, we talked last week and they didn't realize that they were a Blerdicorn until I said they were, and they are part of this fold. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Blerds of all ages, allow us to have the honor of introducing Danii Oliver. Hi, Danii!
What's up, Danii?
Oh, hello, everybody.
What's going on?
Doing good. Doing good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm into the verse today.
Yo. Let's do this, man. Come on. Yo, I'm loving this.
Wait a minute.
Loving this. Okay. If y'all are over here on the YouTubes or on the IGs, please show love because Danii is an innovator, a creator, one of the authors of Unschooled Discoveries. I got my copy of this book, and let me tell you, I continue to read through this because this is magnificent. Danii, you have done something incredible. And we had the chance to talk last week, but due to technical difficulties, we weren't able to get it posted up. But the conversation was phenomenal. And we said, you know what? Not only do we have to bring it to everybody, we got to bring in an educator as well. This Lainey here is an educator and one of the dopest people around. So, you know, we got to bring her in, you know. So,
Appreciate you.
She's doing it.
You know this. You know what zone this is. You know what zone this is. You know. You know you gotta have it on.
I'm going to fight it. You know I'm not on my set, so like
I know, but you're still making it look easy though. Don't even stress. You're making it look easy nonetheless. But Danii, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for taking the time to come back so we can have this full blown geek and blurt out conversation about yourself and everything. How is things going on your side of the hemisphere?
I mean, life be lifing, but we making it through every single day. Taking out our Demon Slayer water breathing techniques to the max all week. Yes, I have been in there. And Tanjiro's breathing has helped me.
I knew she was going to do it.
You go, girl. I can't even do it. You go, girl. That's dope.
We just moving through.
As soon as you said it, I said, "Here comes Lady Mandalore. She gonna pull it out."
I would have pulled out the wig and everything too.
Well, you got to be ready to do it quick, fast, in a hurry. You know how this works. You know how this works.
How about that?
You know what? I'm down with it. So normally I would ask this question, and I'm gonna ask this of everybody here. but Danii is definitely the guest of honor. So I want to ask this question first. What anime are you currently watching?
Currently watching Demon Slayer. I tried to do Solo Leveling, but it wasn't talking to my soul in the moment.
Not what? That means it wasn't time for you to watch it yet.
It just like in the moment, it just wasn't.
Okay,
I
just
needed
okay.
Tanjiro this week,
I
so
see.
Demon Slayer, I needed it. I really did.
Lady Mandalore was like, "What? I'm sorry. What?" I saw her eyes. I was like, "No, they're fine. It's okay."
Wait, no, I understand. It took me a second to get into it too. It's fine. It's
It's a progression. That's all it is. It's a progression. So, what about you, Lady Mandalore?
I am currently bartender, Glass of God. That's
new. I've never even heard of that one.
Oh, you some Navy? How did that happen?
You know what? First of all, I'm gonna need you to not yell at me, okay?
I'm not yelling. I mean, I'm excited because I've never seen you stumped.
It's very
new. To be fair, yes, because I don't keep. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not on Crunchyroll like this. Oh, what they got, girl? Let me see.
Bro, you are walking encyclopedia. It's not about you being on Crunchyroll every day. You are walking encyclopedia. You, Chris, and Spartan, stop playing.
But here's the great thing about being an encyclopedia in this day and age: adding wisdom is never a bad thing.
I know that's right.
That is correcto.
Learning never stops.
Exactly. It's never a bad thing, and I'm genuinely loving it. So, myself, I just caught up on Tower of God. Tower of God season 2 is freaking incredible.
Oh, season 2?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they finally came up with the second season, which goes along with the manhwa. Killing it. So if you're confused about season 2, watch season 1 first, because I had someone say I didn't get it.
Well, duh.
I was about to say that. I feel like that's.
Why would you? Oh, I can't start in the middle of nothing. That's.
I want to hear what Lainey's watching.
Oh yeah, facts.
What are you watching?
I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all talked about something on Tuesday. I forgot it and I screenshot it because I know I was gonna forget it, and I am going to watch it.
Boko something? What was it?
No.
Did you say what I think you just said?
That's what on Tuesday.
No. Baby. Please stop this.
There are
I don't know how to make you not watch something.
There are few warnings we will administer as Blerds. That's one of them.
No.
Why? Just give me. Danii, are you confused like me?
I am. Spill the tea, please. Why?
No, Pico.
No, Pico. And let me put it this way:
anybody in chat, IG, Twitch,
as a parent, you
YouTube,
don't want
let
to
us
watch
know.
this. As a parent, you don't want to watch this.
But why?
First of all, Bama suggested that. First of all,
we
already know where he is.
Listen, he's the one that said no, don't watch it either. So
if Bama's telling you no, there's a reason. There's a reason.
Would you tell somebody that's watching horror for the first time to watch Human Centipede?
Yeah, there we go. There it is.
Wow.
Thank you. Dani's response, their response was perfect because that was me like, oh no.
Wow.
No.
That explains a lot.
That is
right.
That is as close as I can get to that entire scenario.
Yes, exactly.
Don't do it.
Between that and Brotherhood.
Okay.
Brotherhood hands down easily.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Okay,
yes.
I am totally down for because that is a classic.
Even that meme that I put in the chat, and y'all was like, it's way too soon. Even though it's like 10 years or whatever, it's way too soon. I'm like, okay, I gotta know why. So
why? Because we like you. MOUSE. I'm just
to answer your question, I'm also on Demon Slayer. I have been on Demon Slayer forever. For the latest season, I'm like halfway through because I just got bored with it. But I heard that the end episode is everything. So I just need to get it.
Okay. I
And the
can't wait
next
to
time
get there
I'm gonna
too.
watch Brotherhood, since everyone's telling me hell no, please don't go.
We're trying to save your life, my dear.
Watch
We are
it.
trying.
I did try to
Do
look
not-
for it on Crunchyroll. I didn't see it on Crunchyroll, Netflix, or Hulu.
I'm
So I was
Not
so
on
glad you
Crunchyroll.
didn't find it. You're not. Yeah, I'm so glad you didn't find it. Because Tuesday night would have been a whole adventure. Seeing your face, we're like, so how'd it go?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me about it? We tried to tell you.
me.
We tried to
Yeah.
warn you.
Yeah, Human Centipede is a masterpiece of bullshit. So
Mm.
if you're saying that's like what it is,
Mm.
yeah.
I would never do that to anybody. But that is an amazing group of question answers for that and everything. But we are here to chat with Danii Oliver. Danii,
Let's go.
thank you again so much for the time. So we're going to spotlight you because you are the guest of honor today. Yes, we get all of it. So we get to show the whole InstaWeb and the YouTubes this amazing, beautifully brilliant person. So please tell us a little bit about yourself if you don't mind.
Oh, so I'm Danii Oliver. I am the author and the illustrator of Unschooled Discoveries. Currently, book one is available on unschooleddiscoveries.com and the interwebs where you might like to purchase them. And basically, I write books for unschoolers and homeschoolers because we don't have books, we don't have fairy tales, we don't have stories that we can dive into and see ourselves reflected in the literature. It's pretty much just stories about like what it's like to go back to school or go to school or deal with school issues. And unschoolers have very different lifestyles. And I wanted to see our tales reflected so that my kids could have something that they can enjoy and say, hey, we're represented in literature. And so that's what I do and why I do it.
Well, so it was really interesting when you were brought to my attention. I honestly, I was excited. I was really excited because when I heard about Unschooled Discoveries, and this goes back to the conversation that we had last Friday. What you're doing is spotlighting something that doesn't get spoken about in positive terms a lot. We don't see a lot of, oh, this is a great option, it's a fantastic. No, it's always seems to be just kind of ostracized. Like, why would you do this? This isn't conducive. But when you get the chance, and people, when you get a chance to listen to what they have to say about this, you're going to understand that adding another option to educating children is a great thing, especially if the world continues to be the best classroom ever.
Absolutely.
And that's just my opinion. But you know what? I'm going to open it up to these magnificent queens that are here with us. So do y'all have any questions for Danii really quickly?
Lainey, you're the educator, if you don't mind.
I was about to say I did.
But they got a list. It's like, hold on, pull out the scroll.
No, listen, I think Navy ready. He's good. You saw the scroll. I mean, listen, I think there's dual personalities that are at war when I think about homeschooling from an educating point of view, because it's like you grow up being indoctrinated basically that homeschooling is not the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like, even now, as first a mother, a wife, and an educator, it's just like, this is a viable option, but how am I resolving all of that generational thought process?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then another thing is, especially after COVID, my brother started homeschooling his oldest son and continues to. And so that opened my eyes, because at first I was like, well, he's not going to socialize, and he's not going to get this, he's not going to get
the common tropes that you hear.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like I think that was the biggest education for me to open it up and see it in a different way, because now my immediate family is embarking on this journey. Like his younger kids, they go to school, but his older kids since COVID is homeschooled. You know, and now he's a thriving eighth grader. Okay, and we're talking about since what, fourth grade, fifth grade?
Mm.
You know, so I will say all of that so that the questions that I ask, I'm trying to learn. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I have these two different things battling apart in it. I mean, the first thing I did want to say is that when reading through, it felt Afrofuturistic, even though it's very present. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like the way that you were seeing, like the parents set up the solar panels. Like I was wondering, even if in the story that the parents actually built their house. You know what I'm saying? Because like it felt like, first off, being a New York resident for about 6 years, even though I grew up in Long Island, I did live in Brooklyn, so I understand the concrete jungle. Okay, and the fact that you are on top of yourself,
and
so,
your trash.
That part, and like being like, oh, I'm going to move away. We're going to have our own space, our generational wealth owned space, and then start growing on our own, installing solar panels, so we don't even have to worry about that much or at all, depending on outside source of electricity, all those different things. I think that just the first question was, were they building their own house?
To answer your question, that is the goal. And I'm glad that came through, because that is what we're actively working on. And so to answer your question immediately, no, they did not immediately build their own house, but they are retrofitting their house in real time. So for instance, the room that I'm sitting in, every piece of furniture except my gaming chair, we've built by hand. From the desk to the sofa to the wall behind me and the tent that used to be here, we built everything by hand that we have. We just built an 800 square foot garden house. We built our rabbit run. We are building our orchard. We are building as much as we can ourselves. And I wanted to reflect that in the book. And I'm so glad that you said Afrofuturistic, because the book is very much a memoir, but I put it out there as a fiction book because I also respect and understand that what is happening is not reality for a lot of people of color. And I didn't want to push it off as, oh yeah, anybody could do this. It's so easy. Because if you look at YouTube, they make it seem like it's that. And it's not.
It's not.
Editing makes everything look easy. Editing makes everything look easy.
Right. So to answer your question, it's complicated. The immediate structure that they live in, no, they did not build, but someone did build it. It was a human being. And I personally, as the author, come from a family where my grandfather built his house by hand in Trinidad with my father, and that house is still standing today, and that house has become a generational home with fewer little improvements to it, because he built it by hand and it's still standing.
Wow, that is impressive. That's what I'm talking about.
Extremely.
That's what I'm talking about. And what's crazy about this, and a lot of people don't think about it, we're so used to school being a structure, a building that kids go to Monday through Friday, but not realizing that they learn in real time everywhere they go, no matter what they see or what they do, whether they watch TV or they're opening up a book. I came from the Schoolhouse Rock generation, so a lot of what I learned about math and English and history came from watching that, because my teachers were trash. Okay, I'm gonna call, like I said, they were hot garbage, except for a few. They were my heroes to this very day. God rest their souls. They made me the weirdo that I am today, and I love it. Love it.
Thank God bless them.
So, and I know, Danii, you have had to deal with dissenting words about this form of education for your children from different people. What would you say is the one question that's always asked that you haven't given?
The number one question of all questions has nothing to do with academics, and it has to do with socialization. How are your kids going to socialize? And my immediate response is, you forget. School is about sit down, shut up, or go to detention. Like, school is the one place where you are not allowed to socialize. You are segregated on all level and all forms of segregation, especially if you went to private or Catholic school, where you had to look a certain way, you had to dress the same. And if you stood out be it your height, the color of your skin, the way you spoke, the type of food you ate, anything that made you different, you were not socializing about. You were segregated for it, bullied for it, punished for it, and ultimately isolated from any semblance of socialization just because you're different. And unschoolers do not put up with that at all. So the number one question is socialization, and we can squash that from the beginning because school is not where socialization happens.
You know what? Nick's from Do You Speak Geek. What's going on, fool? Since you're gonna call me out like that.
He didn't say nothing bad. He just said and Navy. He don't want to.
No. You see. I'm gonna show you the face. You see that side eye right there? I have to deal with this knucklehead. He's local too. I know where you live, fool. Don't think for a second I won't come after you. I mean that with all the love I can muster. But he does make a valid point. You know, he's like, say that again, because a lot of parents, a lot of so-called supporters of education don't realize that school is a structure that was created by people to make you sit down, shut up, do as I say, listen to what I'm telling you, and then try to make that a useful thing later in life. Without realizing you're crippling the kids.
Yes.
You're preventing them from being who they truly are, or you're making them afraid to be who they truly are.
I mean, Trevor Noah has spoken about it extensively since he's left The Daily Show, where he's like, a lot of problems that adults have today is simply not having the willingness to sit down and communicate, having the willingness to sit down and talk through whatever issues they're going through or the other person might be going through to say, hey, you know, we just had one little tiny misunderstanding that could have been like a time zone misunderstanding, but then they blow up. And that's because in school, we don't sit down and talk about these things. We don't talk about how we're feeling. We don't talk about being overwhelmed or stressed out. We just push the kids to sit in these desks and just deal with whatever the teacher is trying to force on them. And Lainey, no disrespect to you in any way, shape, or form. I'm absolutely speaking from my experiences and the experiences that I and my children have looked at on YouTube to see that unfortunately these things are still happening to this day, where teachers could bring in their trauma.
I'm a dean that has to sometimes support these things. So they absolutely are. I think that my struggle or my charge is to find those moments to what you're talking about within the system. It's really hard. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, how do we do like little dance parties or something like that? Even for like, I'm at a high school now. When they came in today, it was Fun Friday and we put on salsa and we were dancing with the kids coming in. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like, even though it was 10 minutes, it was still 10 minutes of like them just seeing a different part. Meanwhile, upstairs, the like third and fourth graders are doing Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah.
No, siento.
Wow. Okay.
Danii?
I was like, oh, they're doing it. And it was cool. But it was also a way for them to also be around. So like we do try to have those things, but at the end of the day, you're not wrong. It is grounded in that sit down, shut up, listen. Okay, if you have really I don't want to say talented, because I do believe a true educator is talented. I think if they're introspective to try to bring their craft alive in more than just I'm talking to you, that's when magic really happens.
Right.
But then also you're grounded by standards and you're grounded by regions and you're grounded by state tests. So it's how do you balance bringing those aspects in while making sure that those standards are implied, okay, and absolutely taught to you. So you're not wrong. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses on you. You're not wrong.
Lady Mandalore.
I'm sorry.
No, she want to be in on the conversation. You talk about learning. I'm part of the learning.
Daddy is home.
And?
You know, if I was the only person here, then fine. I would be like, okay, let me get you ice cream or wait. But Daddy's home. Talk to daddy.
It takes
a
a village.
watch coming into the camera. It's like, hey, you got a visitor. Look at that.
I just see a little ooh, hi. Okay, so Danii, based on the conversation we had the last time, I kind of want to advance it a little bit. I feel like I'm of the mindset that I feel like people would learn the best. I think this is past the elementary school age, though. People would learn the best or have a better drive if they had an apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it being something where you have to figure out exactly what career you're going to be going into when you are leaving the confines of high school at 18. Now you're off on your own and listening to sirens in the background of New York City, trying to figure out what career you want to take for the rest of your life. Do you have any thoughts on apprenticeship versus standard core curriculum? In that mindset, like, do you have a pathway to go from core curriculum to an apprenticeship for your kids, or mindset for your kids?
So I don't know anything about core curriculum, so I can't speak to core curriculum. We don't do curriculum at all. My job as a facilitator is to listen to my children. So going back to the sit down, shut up, listen to me as an educator. I listen to my kids and they tell me what they want to learn. And it's my responsibility to find all the resources I can, whether they be real life, online, offline, books, other people, other experts, podcasts, to expose them to that material, to expose them to that content. So I absolutely do feel that there's a way that we can shift back to apprenticeships, and they start really at home, right? Like I do not dress my children. I have not dressed my kids since they could walk and pick clothes out from their bins. They've dressed themselves. I do not bathe my children. They bathe themselves. I gave them basic instructions. They follow. I check up on it. And after a while, they're like, Mommy, it's weird. Go away. So these are things I don't do for them. I do not cook for my children. They cook for themselves. My son has made eggs for himself since he was 2 years old. I just woke up from a nap one day and he was cooking. And I was like, oh, okay, I will stand here because you are 2 and I will record it. Because daddy needs to see it, but you are too. And I respect, because they've been watching their father cook and diligently prep meals and teach them how to use knives. And so apprenticeship starts at home. And then when you can't do anymore, that doesn't make you a bad parent. That doesn't mean you need to send your kids off to school. It means you now are tasked with finding someone or material that can help your kid advance to the next level that they want to go to, and also respect that they're going to do it at their own pace, because we as parents are their first investors, and they have 18 to 26 years of investment where they don't have to show anything for it. But we get to give them that space to allow them to figure things out, rather than this constant forcing, you got till 18 to get out. You got till 18 to get out, right? That's stressful in and of itself. And I don't know how any core curriculum teaches a person life skills.
Okay. So how is it reconciled with even like basics of like writing and math? You know what I mean? I know
Yes,
that
I know exactly what you mean.
Oh no, Ceci.
I know exactly what you mean.
Basic question, but I get that higher level, because you're right. Like the apprentices even can be like in a school setting, school jobs for kids, but at home it is how you are creating the responsibility track of how kids are helping around the house, which is their first apprenticeship into a bigger world outside of the home. But then I'm like, okay, how does it reconcile with even just the basic skills of like just reading and writing and things of that nature?
And mathematics. And that's very simple. And right now my TikTok is going crazy with everybody. Oh my gosh, my 6-year-old can't read yet, or when are they gonna read? And everyone in homeschool world is scared, like, oh my gosh, my kids can't read by 1st grade. And that is okay, because reading is something that comes with interest. And also we have to remember that like we're in a completely different time. We are no longer in the time where we just know where to go because we know that that's the butcher shop, or we know that that's the farm, or we know that that's the library, or whatever services we might have needed in the past. We just knew an auntie or uncle who did it, right? Auntie and uncle being extended adults within the community. We know who did it, so we knew where to go. So we didn't have to read because there were no signs to read. We now live in a world where you can't turn and there isn't something written down, right? Kids are going to learn to read because they want to interact with something. They want to interact with their video games. They want to text message people. They want to read this awesome comic book that has these wonderful pictures, but they want to know what's happening, right?
I know, that's right.
This is
we're going to get on comics here very shortly, because I'm telling you, it's the greatest book, everything fine. Girl, let's bring out the comics. Okay, let's just break them out.
This is something that they are going to want to interact with, because after a while, they're going to feel left out, especially if it's something of interest to them. And what a lot of unschoolers, like unschool parents, say is one day their kids just wake up and they go from 0 to 100. I cannot tell you the moment in time where my child learned to read. We expose them to words, of course. We've got the Montessori letters behind us. You know, we're driving in the car and my son sees the signs. He goes, wait, look, mommy, fireworks. Buy one, get one. What's that other word? Free, free. Oh, now I know it. They're interacting in the world that makes them curious, because there's that FOMO, right? Like, I want to know what this thing is. I want to know what that says. We can do things to help them help them out. So like I play a game with my kids called Hide and Go Seek, where I give them stickies and I put words on it and they have to go find the thing, right? But that's also me doing the most. That's me sometimes feeding into my fear. Like, did I let you know what everything in this room is? Can you name everything in this room? But without doing that, kids are going to take that natural interest, so long as we're not beating them down and telling them that they're going to be a failure. And when it comes to mathematics, that's easier than reading and writing, because what kid isn't fascinated with the concept of infinity, or can I count to 100? But then more importantly, on top of that, how do I buy this thing that I want that I need to have enough money for? So when we're including our kids in things like shopping and building shopping lists and making sure that they're budgeting, using their money correctly, these things become it's integrated into life. It's not a separate sit down and learn math and do these problems over and over and over. It's, we went to Target. There's a capsule collaptus that you want. It costs $73. You now have $50 in your bank account. How much more money do you need to go around asking different family members for? With a cute smile, negotiating so that you can get that capsule collaptus. And my son is a master negotiator. When
my brain
money.
totally went to what you said. It's like, how many people do I need to ask to get this? All right, I can go to Uncle So-and-so. I can go to Cousin So-and-so. I can go to Auntie So-and-so when she's not doing that. I can go
so it's like a compounded problem, right? It's how much more do I need? How many family members can I go to? How much can I ask them each for? But then who can give me what? And what do I need to make up the difference for? And this is what my 4 and 5-year-old was doing, now 6. But this is what they've been doing, because they'll say to grandma, so I have 5 dinosaurs, but there's 12. So, you know, Grandma, I'm missing some. Can you help me? Because Grandma, if you get me 5, right, then Pop will get me 2 more. But I need you to get me the first 5 so that Pop will know I'm almost there. Because Pop said when I'm almost there, he'll get it for me. I'm not teaching him math. When I tried to teach him math at 3, he was like, no, I know math. I know things. Okay. Can we do to 100? And it's like, okay, mommy, I will teach you. And my son literally went around the house giving us math trivia because he thought we were stupid. So he had to teach us. And this is just us showcasing what unschooling can be like, because when learning isn't a task or a chore or forced, it becomes this interest that means like, I've got a secret no one else knows about, and I want to share it with the world. And reading, writing, and mathematics comes with that. because it's a real part of life. If I want an apple, I look at the sign in the grocery store until I understand the words that mean apple. And I know forever and ever, APPLE is apple, because that's the thing I like to eat. And that's what the sign says.
You know what's
Sorry,
funny?
that was the long answer.
No, that was fantastic.
No.
And you
That-
actually
that-
brought up something that was pretty relevant, and I'm pretty sure others will agree with this. Once a child finds interest and fascination in something, there's no stopping them.
That is very true.
There's no stopping them. If they find an interest in anime, they want to know everything. If they will find a fascination in mathematics, history, art, they will go full bore because now they are engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see, and I've seen the school system, unfortunately, coming up, I've seen them take a child's interest and try to structure it according to what they feel is important instead of what's important to the child. So you wonder why this kid's not doing so great in school, because they're not interested in what you're showing them. You've given them no interest to be, no reason to be interested. They want to learn how to draw trees in the field, but you're trying to show them about George Washington and the Continental Congress. They don't care about that.
Yep.
So taking them in that direction to where their interests will lie initially will branch out. And I've seen it so many times, especially coming up as a Blerd and where I work at the store, because I'll see kids coming in, they see Pokemon and they look up and say, what is that? I said, that's One Piece. What's One Piece? Here come the questions. Here's the interest and the desire. And now they want to know more. So I can relate to that.
So,
And also, go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to add on to the Blerds and the come up. We just went to the Moon Festival this past weekend that was taking place here, well, all around the world where Asians celebrate the Moon Festival. But here in DFW, they did K-pop dance covers, and to see children from all walks of life speaking and singing Korean because they're interested. No one sat them down in a classroom and gave them a textbook and say, hey, learn Korean, we're going to test you, and if you fail, you're a loser or there's something wrong with you. No, these kids are dancing and singing and speaking Korean because they were allowed to just go down that rabbit hole of their interests.
No, it's Rabbit Hood. You're fine. It's a hood. It's a neighborhood. It's Rabbit Hood. Same thing. There's a bodega somewhere in the corner somewhere. We already know what it's all about. Okay.
Money bodega.
So I think stupid.
I can't stand you. I can't stand you. Yo, I'm the non-New Yorker in this whole group. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Really? This is what we're doing?
I'm about to say, Danii just put you in the corner by putting herself in the corner.
I wanted to show my dad bunny. I want to show my hood bunny.
Gosh, it's cute.
Oh my goodness.
So I think you bring up an interesting point. That, like I said, just please forgive me because I think I am in my head about 40 years of basically how to do things, right? How do you reconcile kids what they want to learn versus what they should learn? So like especially when you said something about like George Washington and Continental Congress. What flipped for me is like some of the shit that we're going through right now in our country that we may not be going through. And I'm not saying this is a homeschooling thing or whatever, but just about of like, history is doomed to repeat itself if you don't know it. Basically. So like how do you reconcile teaching your kids those things and still honoring their thought process or how they want to learn?
Okay, so I've got 4 things to get to your answer, and I'm going to outline them up front. So, number 1, my 11-year-old does not do history, especially European history. She told me at 8 years old, nope, mommy, I'm shutting that down. We're not doing it. I know it already. It's somebody taking something from someone and killing them. I'm done.
Okay.
That's number 1. I respect that.
No.
That's a summary. Okay.
So in terms of history repeating itself under Ivy's watch, she already know what it is, and she's gonna do what she has to do to make sure that like under her watch, there's no one taking advantage of someone else, unless is her doing what she has to do and not taking shit from someone else.
Mm.
And that's with respect to other human beings and other human life. The other part to it is when we're teaching our kids in school, we have to understand where school came from, right? In the iteration that we understand right now. And that's the General Board of Education that wanted to teach kids in a way that prevented them from having access to wealth. And how we saw this was with the Indian schools, right? I don't know where you guys are on the history of that, but you know,
oh yes,
Black people as Indians, right? We was here. They saw us. They wrote it down. They took pictures. You know, they drew it. They had white paint. They had brown paint, and they chose to use brown paint for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So the Indian schools were first, you know, take them away from their parents, take them away from their heritage, cut their hair off, and tell them that they're from somewhere else.
Yep.
Okay, tell that they're someone else,
That
and that they're also 3/5 of a person.
Mm-hmm.
So when you teach a person this history that you are less than, that you come from nothing, and you will become nothing, we are not helping our children and we are not helping our future, because we are already suppressing them and what they think is possible. And we know this as New Yorkers, as the New Yorkers in the room right now, we know this from the concept of, oh, we don't do that. That's for white people, right? Not that that isn't rooted in certain ideas of safety, like the Green Book, but there's a lot of things that people don't do because they're like, oh, that's for white people. So when we teach these histories in this way, we are actually bringing someone's soul down. Why do I want to keep learning about what white people do? Like, oh my gosh, here's another class on how amazing white dudes are. Like, oh my God, they did all these amazing things. They settled the country. They made it what it is. And we had no parts.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is what we are teaching our children, and it manifests in the way they speak, in the way they treat themselves, and the way they go out into the world. Now, when you look at it from the unschool or homeschooling perspective, we have two concepts, and these concepts are promoted, codified, and talked about extensively by Akilah Richards, and that is schoolishness and the concept of deschooling. And deschooling is where we take the time to basically unlearn and detoxify ourselves from all the schoolishness that we learned. And that is the performative behavior that tells us there is a certain way, a standard way, and one way in which to do things or to learn. And when we start to deschool ourselves, we start to work those things out of ourselves while we step back and let our kids be natural without telling them, this is how to learn. This is what you have to do. You got to sit down. There's only one way to learn, and that's through reading your book, right? If my kids were to go to school, they would be in trouble all the time because they're kinesthetic learners, which means they have to move for it to sink in their brain. They would be in trouble every single day because when they jump, they can repeat facts. It goes in their brain. So when you ask the question, about how, you've had the 40 years of the indoctrination of this is how you do it, the deschooling process starts to look inward as the adults and say, what did I learn was supposed to be? And how can I unlearn that? How can I look at my kids and see what they're doing naturally and just allow it? And that really is a lot of deprogramming ourselves from this idea of performative parenting, where we think we have to do this. We think we have to control them. And that is work. That's the hard part of unschooling your children, is doing that work of getting rid of not only the schoolishness, but also the generational trauma of everything that we've learned in school and everything that we've learned from only just the last generation of our parents. Because before that, they did things a whole different way. I hope that answers your question. I know that was a lot.
First of all, please do not apologize for speaking a lot, because you are dropping it. And like,
facts.
There are some things I'm just like, shit, I mean, like even from, I think I find myself on doing at least some deprogramming as far as history is concerned, because that is the one thing I know that I can contribute to, or not only as a history, like a history major, but also to the fact of like, that's a growing young Black girl.
Yep.
I do not want her to feel less than anyone. Even though I can understand, once you said the way that history is spoken about, you're absolutely right. Because it's written from the white perspective, it's all about the greatness of whiteness. You know what I'm saying? So I try to counterbalance that about the greatness of you. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I hated to move her from the school that she was in because she saw so many melanated faces in power. And now she's in the thing that's closest to us because I moved my job and I moved her too, even though I moved her first and then me. But I wanted her also to have friends. But like I said, that's another subject for another time, which I might pick your brain on because, like I said, the socialization thing, that's what is important. That was really important to me.
Correct.
I don't know. That's just so fascinating about going in to a 2.1. I mean 2.0 level because I was thinking on a 1.0 level in that sense. Oh yeah.
Seeing Lainey's eyes twinkle is kind of cool because you can hear switches going off and buttons being pushed and everything. And what's funny is you go back to when your kids are jumping and that they're learning. I always equated when a child whenever I see a child jump like that, that means not only do they get it, they're excited that they've gotten it. And they want to share it in any way they can. Even that means shouting it to the top of their lungs because they want to let everybody know, hey, I understand this. I've learned this. And we've seen so many of our kids just squelched because some crotchety old cheese doodle who decides that they've been teaching forever that they're already tainted on how kids should conduct themselves, that we're actually causing their desire to learn to be shrunken and to be compacted. And when they do get the chance to say, okay, we set you free, they don't know how to unpack this. They're not equipped to pull it apart and be able to translate it.
I'm gonna defend the teacher in a little bit. Generally, this is not a blanket thought, but there's also the pressure for them to get all of this information within an allotted amount of time into these kids' heads by the end of this thing. So yeah, it's great that you get it and you're jumping up and down, but I gotta move on, homie. Like I'm glad that you got it, but I need you to sit down. I know everybody else is excited that for you and but now it's gonna take me 10 minutes that I don't have to bring the class back down in order to try to get their brains back into focus to move on to this next thing. So it's I feel bad for teachers that they don't have the liberty and the time to sit with these kids for years and figure out exactly what it is that they actually do have an interest in, and B, how to teach them, because like you were saying, they all are going to learn differently. I trash great at maintaining things on my own. Like once I figured out, oh, y'all motherfuckers, oh, you can't care about me, fuck it, I had to teach myself chemistry in sophomore year of high school. I remember that. I had
chemistry and physics.
Everybody failed that fucking we have Regents tests, or we used to have Regents tests. Everybody failed that thing. I'm the only one in the entire fucking class that passed that hoe, outside of the kids that were already fucking brilliant or had tutors or whatever. Only one. So I'm gonna say
also.
Yeah,
no, I will use that. My fault.
No, I think everybody's getting the shaft end in the education system in some capacity. Yes, there are bad teachers. Yes, there are some kids that need correction. But
this is not about the teachers and whether or not teachers are good or bad, because teachers are workers for the system. Teachers, a lot of people, when they want to become educators, they don't know what they're getting themselves into when it comes to all the standards and things. Like a lot of teachers I spoke to, when they went into it, they wanted to make a difference. They wanted to write their own curriculum, only to find out they weren't allowed to do that. They were told what they couldn't do. And I've watched people quit teaching because it broke their heart to literally have to force a failing student through the system just because they were aging out. Like it broke their heart. They had to quit.
The aging part has always been, unfortunately, the I'm going to teach the curriculum that's given to me and not write, because I was able to write my own curriculum. So I was able to put in stuff that wasn't in the textbook. We had a textbook. I'm like, oh wow, y'all are missing some stuff. All right, let me put this in. Let me put this in and put it from a Black perspective. So, you know, and I was blessed to be at a Black school. Okay, because I don't know if I could go down south with me and my locks, okay, and be hired to teach American history and teach it only from the book that they give me. That's there to your point. And should I forget my other voice? I'm shut up. Oh man, I was but yeah.
But this is why I chose to unschool my kids, because I didn't want my kids to be raised by a brand new stranger every single year who was, one, stressed out first and foremost, could not make their own bills. So they are obviously coming to work with that stress. And then they're having to deal and compete with 35 other kids just so they can understand concepts at the back of the textbook, right? And never get to it. And then come home feeling like a failure because they couldn't pass the standardized test because nothing on the test was taught to them.
I am going to raise you, because I was going to talk about the amount of kids in the classroom, but I'm also going to raise you an unpopular thought that you should not have 180 days. You should have more. You should have more vacations. But think about it. Seriously. There is.
No, I agree.
But I say there's 365.
Yeah, I agree with this one too.
Yeah, there's 365 days, or if you want to say 366, whatever, on a leap year. If you just had 2 months and then maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks vacation and then keep on going, you're taking on half of the freaking year. Okay, I don't know. That's just me.
No,
it could be a soapbox.
Well, that's very different from unschooling, because we don't count the number of days of learning that we do, because learning happens pretty much all day, every day. But we are very gracious with our breaks.
Now, on rainy days, I like
we got our rainy day protocol.
We can play games. We can watch movies. I was like, yes.
Rainy day protocol. There is no work to be done. There is no learning to be done. We are resting our minds. The kids get up when they good and feel like it. It can be 7 a.m. for my little. It can be 10 or 12 for my older one. But when they're up, they're refreshed. They're ready. They take in as much. They may go to bed late because they're still taking something in. And then after that, their brains are allowed to rest and process. And processing is a very important part of our brain's ability to build new neural pathways. Because if we just keep going and going and going, we're going to overwhelm ourselves and burn out ourselves. And a lot of children are burnt out because, you know, they're in school, they're doing homework, they never get the chance to rest. Then there's extracurricular and weekend programs, and then there's summer programs, and they never get that chance to really just say, what just happened? Like, what did I just learn? And I've witnessed my kids do this in the last few years, and I had the pleasure of recording it on our podcast, where they just stopped and said, wow, mommy, you know, I see things from a different perspective. I remember last year, I couldn't see the counter. And now I can, and everything in the world looks different. And they just start to process things differently. Like, you know, this Pokemon is better than this Pokemon for these number of reasons, because this one has a different ability. And did you know that I can beat water with fire? And I was like, yeah, but you know, you can also beat, you know, fire with water also, and have these conversations where we start to rationalize and conceptualize the things that we're learning, not just as fact for a test and then let it go, but how does it play into real life? How does it play into my life? How do I communicate these thoughts and ideas with other people? And when I need to, just get onto a ball of my covers and just rest and just let me just be with my thoughts for a minute, because it's a lot. And did you know, oh my gosh, that the moon changes every night? Like every night the moon is different. Mommy, seriously, did you know that the sun is moving? Why is the sky purple right now? These are things I don't hear school kids talk about, because their heads down doing that homework. That's the same work they were doing in school for the test. And as soon as the test is done, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to talk about it.
It goes to the same thing too when kids come home from school, and I'm as a parent, I was guilty of this before. How was school? Fine. And I'm expecting them to give me this detail of what they learned, and then later I came with this mindset that I went through school. I didn't want to talk about school when I came home. The last thing I wanted to do was talk about school. I wanted to be a kid. So allowing them to be that naturally works so much better in their favor. And honestly, after having the last time we chatted, and of course reading this several times, I already had a respect for it already, because my youngest child was homeschooled and she's going to a public high school now. But that was her foundation, and you could just see her bloom, and just she is a theater nerd and I love it. And she's 16 and she is a total goofball. Every time I see her, I go, ah! And I just lose my mind. But it takes us back to the conversation we had before, because I know there were challenges that you had bringing this into the fold. So how would you say the rest of the community is as far as unschooling? Is it pretty supportive? There may be a few issues along the way. So overall, from your perspective?
You want that tea?
Girl, we believe in tea and nerddom here. Let's go.
Ooh, let me take a sip for a minute right there.
They were serious.
Yo,
Drinking my fermented tea here.
Yo, I am done. I am so done.
When it comes to the community is great. And this goes back to the socialization part, where people are like, oh, how are your kids going to socialize? The same way adults socialize. Also, remember, we live in the era of technology. So we are socializing right now. And my kids socialize the same way. They have a friend who moved 3 hours away from them, and that's their best friends in the whole wide world. And whenever they're in town, they get together, and otherwise they have a long distance relationship. When it comes to the community, it's great. We have community gurus. We have people who speak out and advocate for this lifestyle and help us to really de-school and get through our day when we are challenging ourselves about what should be done. Are we doing enough? What other resources are there? The community is great for that. And a large majority of this community is global. We are world schoolers. So our community is global. We speak to people in South Africa. We speak to people in UK, people in Asia. And so it's great in the sense that we are all reaching out, trying to help each other and share resources. I'm not big on reading the ideas and thoughts of white men that says how you should teach your kids, but there are those people. I particularly follow the school of Akilah Richards, who is an Arawak, was a Caribbean.
I don't mean to laugh, but the way you said it, this the way
it's also the way Mando just was like, I'm just gonna.
The way they said it, I just was like, if I don't scream out loud laughing, I've got great restraint.
It's just that right now we're dealing with this in real time in the community, where we're facing the potential erasure of a woman of color who has done the work. And it's being, overshadowed by an academic who is Eurocentric focused and trying to say that they've come up with these ideas when they in fact have not come up with these ideas. They've watched women of color struggle through things like segregation, things like, what life was like before integration of schools, where, people of color had to come up with their own education systems, not for indoctrination purposes, but for general literacy, for general, you need to go and participate in this person's world so that you cannot be captured and used in ways you don't want to be used. And so the community is great in terms of banding together and saying, like, these are the people who support us and share our ideas and help us through the hard times. But we can't overlook the fact that, like, we are still dealing with modern day erasure. We're still dealing with microaggressions and macroaggressions from people who, want to try to tell you what is the right way to do things, because I have dealt with that. I have dealt with mom groups that are like, well, here's another podcast and here's another book that you need to read because you don't know how to unschool right. And so, you deal with that. but you don't have to. Right? It's not the PTA. You don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, I'll throw this hint at you like a softball, but you don't have to catch it. You know,
Yeah.
What? Yo, okay.
Crazy.
See,
Yeah. I mean, and that's socialization, right? That's real people dealing with real people in real time and learning what environments you do and do not want to partake in. And our kids learn the same thing. They see me dealing with it like, oh, we were a part of this group and it was fun, but then, you know, something happened. We tried to work it out. It didn't exactly work the way we had hoped. For whatever reason, we move on, or there is an issue and we overcome it and we move past it. So these are, when it comes to the community, yes, the support is there. Sadly, there is still that segregated divide where, you know, you've got the type of homeschool that has been tabooed, where it's like, you're going to live in a bubble. It's only going to be Christian focused. That still does exist. But then we have the other side of self-directed education where we're saying, no, we want to open our minds. We don't want to limit our kids to, you know, a specific dogma or doctrine or one way of learning. We want to be global citizens and learn about everybody and share who we are, the way we are, not try to fit into a checked box. Yeah.
Completely understood.
I just lost the bloody question.
Come on, I believe
I think I was gonna ask you about
is it bigger than a bread box? Can you sell it on eBay? Can you give it to kids for Halloween?
Your kids like global citizens instead of being indoctrinated in this U.S. institution of, I guess whatever the fuck it is that we're in right now. Living in this country is exhausting from beginning to end. And how do you plan on getting your kids, I guess, accustomed to living here? Because at some point they're going to run into the rest of, for now, the country and the world. Like, how do you navigate their potentially negative interactions? Like, how do you explain history to your daughter if she doesn't want to learn about history? How do you plan on navigating that or going down that road?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. And so when it comes to dealing with the world, because we are out in the world dealing with real people in real time, they're already getting that exposure. So for instance, COVID was very hard for us, not because we were quarantined and stuck in the house, because we absolutely were not. We were out. And that's because we have our own reasons, and I'm a shaman and we eat the earth and things like that. But when we went out into the world, there were other people out there. And if my child coughed or sneezed or made a weird sound, we've literally watched adults run down the aisle or do things like that to my kids, right? We went to the museum one day because there was this awesome exhibit about Egypt that was in the museum in Fort Worth, and my daughter really wanted to see it. And, you know, I put my own trauma to the side and we got dressed and we went. But while we were there, there was a couple, a Eurocentric couple, who did not want to move along, but were coughing on the display and coughing in her direction. Gosh. And when we tried to get past them, they looked at her like she was the disease, in spite of the fact that they were the ones coughing on everything and didn't want to move the line along so that everyone behind them could move through the museum in the way that was set up for everyone to walk through during this horrible time of extended segregation of humanity.
Please understand that I have this. I had to put this up because the screw face that I have on right now, I swear to God, with your non-seasoning ashy leg, you don't want to wash beneath your kneecaps.
Show the face. Show the face.
I wish a motherfucker would.
On my show, show the face.
I wish a
motherfucker
would.
Let me see the face. I want to see it. I want to relish in it. Let me see the face of Screw. Let me see it.
Very much team F them kids some days, unless you fucking with kids. If you fucking with kids, I'm fucking twice as hard, my guy. I promise on everything, dead ass. I
yet
promise
you can't
you,
even get her
we
to
gonna
show
fight.
the
I don't even know that child, but I promise you, I'm pushing you into some shit. We gonna have a nice discussion. Okay, it's gonna be nothing but hands in
Danny is
sign
falling
language.
apart.
We are gonna understand something today, my guy. Not you acting like my. Not you
Danny
acting
right
like
now.
my kid's a
Thank
motherfucking
you.
problem. I know you have lost your goddamn mind.
Danny
I
is
know
weak right
you.
now.
I
They
know
are about
you
to fall out of
are.
this chair because of you. Okay, but I ain't mad at that. No, you good.
I mean, and that's the voice that you hear in your head, and you do your best not to show it. You do your best to put on your Kamala face and say, and over here we have this person.
Why you have someone talking about they're
I like
eating
that. Okay,
the
I like
dogs,
that.
they're eating
I
the
like that.
pets.
Because there still was good shade in that.
Yes,
And
yes,
and
very
they could
much.
also internalize that what you was gonna say.
Exactly.
Because we
And
all
so
internalized
these
that
are
when
the
we saw it.
moments where, as unschoolers, as unschool facilitators and parents, we are tasked not to tell our kids how to be in the world, but to show them. And that's not always easy.
Danny,
That is what we
goddammit.
go into the streets. That's what we go into the streets doing.
I want to go low. I want to go low. Let me go low. Let me see what I do. Let me go low.
If you want to go low,
You
go
the
low.
auntie,
Do
you
them
the auntie, you
push-ups.
can.
They said do their push-ups like
The mothers
7,
might have to be
12,
like Kamala.
14,
You could just be
diamond.
You got it. Let's go.
We can we just talk about the fact that we need a translator for Kamala? Like we had a translator for Obama.
Okay,
We need to bring the translator back.
But who would it be though? Who would it be though?
Maya
Sykes?
Rudolph.
I don't know if it'd be Wanda.
I think Wanda.
I think Maya Rudolph would be perfect.
No, Wanda Sykes would be good. You said Wanda Sykes? That would be good.
I think Maya would pull it off.
My bestie mommy from Blackish. I can't remember her name. Shit. What's
Tracy Elise Ross?
No.
Oh no, the
no.
mother.
Mother.
Yes.
I can't remember the name. But she would be a wonderful translator.
Listen, Kamala is like me. She's Arawak and she's Tamil, right? And during that debate, I heard the ancestors speaking to her. All right. So any one of those women posing as the ancestors, like, honey child, you need
Jennifer
to
Lewis.
hold yourself together. Be a good lady. Oh no. You need to give them a couple words. Let them know you need to represent for the family. You represent us.
Meanwhile, you hear in the background, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets.
And he stopped to think for a second and still was on that. They're eating the pet. I'm like, shit. Please,
from a cartoon.
Yo,
I feel like he wanted to say they're eating babies. I really feel like he wanted to go there.
Give him another dance on the stage. I'm pretty sure that'll slip somewhere. There was Pizzagate in DC. They were child trafficking in a pizzeria. I saw it through the interweb. Everyone.
You're like, sir, that was a classified briefing. You weren't supposed to talk about that, sir.
That debate was required viewing. I don't care nobody.
My kids were up front and center. And my son, my 6-year-old, had some things to say. He sat up for a minute. He was like, "Mommy, why would that man say that they're eating dogs, Mommy? That doesn't sound right."
Out of the mouth of babes.
Like, Mommy, that doesn't sound right, Mommy.
It don't make sense.
Mommy, I don't understand what he's saying. Can you explain it? Sweetheart, there's no explaining. There's just no explaining.
Yeah, you can't explain crazy sometimes.
No. The funny part was Kamala's response. As soon as he said it, you know that auntie that makes that laugh and that saying I feel sorry for you kind of face. She did that in one sweep. I said my auntie would have done the same thing. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
She had the wait. What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What was he drinking in the green room?
Y'all got the Coke just laid out in the green room like that? How we doing this? Hey,
what's going on? The plug for the headband, y'all. That's, believe it or not, that's the boo right there. That's what makes my head look presentable. I'm just saying, I look good. Thank you, girl. Appreciate you, my man.
But Lady Mandalore, getting back to your question, how do I prepare them to be global citizens, world citizens? I mean, we have a head start because we are first and second generation immigrants. So we are not at home. We have, we've lived away from our people, our kind. So by default, we are already out into the world. But then above and beyond that, I've had the pleasure of circumnavigating the globe before I was 20 years old through semester at sea. I was on an airplane when I was 2 weeks old and have traveled on airplanes, up to the age of 6 by myself without a parent or guardian, just the stewardess. So I have done these things, and I try to continue to impart these things that my mother put in me to always keep expanding your horizons. And so we talk about travel. My daughter has already had the pleasure of going out of the country without me, without me, of going back home to Trinidad and going to St. Martin. Their father just came back from Korea. And unfortunately, while we were not able to go with him, we spent the entire week in our enchanted tent traveling with him. So everywhere he was, we were a day behind, doing the same things, eating the same food, exposing ourselves to the same language, the same culture, watching Korean TV shows, going to the Moon Festival. In as much as we can find resources locally, we dove into it. And you could hear my son in Asia Times Square screaming, "Mommy, Korea is awesome. I love Korea, Mommy." And like my daughter was like, "Mom, he sounds crazy." I'm like, let him. If he is in Korea right now, let him, because when he grows up, he's going to remember that time that we went to Korea only by sitting in a tent, and then all of a sudden we were out in the world and all the letters were different, and he couldn't read them the way he was able to read those letters before, and now became interested in the literacy of a whole different language. So we are constantly exposing them above and beyond just us, right? My kids they're not kids who have the idea of, this is my block and I'm only going to stick to my block. We go out into the world in as much as possible. We do road trips. We flip a coin. Are we going north or are we going south? And where we end up is where we end up. And I love that this idea of world schooling has a community to it. So there are world school hubs and there are world school pods, and pods are where people travel together as family units. And so you always have like this pod with you of people who you do know and can look out for you and your kids and allow you to work and be a part of the local culture at the same time. And then you have World School Hubs, which is host families who will open up their home and property to allow other world schoolers to come in and to learn through them, with them, around them, and set things up for them. And so through world schooling, road schooling, there are people of color who are out there on the road in RVs who are educating their kids from Route 66 to Highway 81, just out there living their best lives and engaging with the world in real time, and not waiting until they're 18 to come with that culture shock when they first get to college, right? Culture is a part of life, and many cultures is a part of our world.
I love it. I genuinely love it. All right, we're gonna shift gears a little bit now because I want to delve into your blurty side, okay? Because we done got serious for a little bit, but we did not get to explore all of your fandoms, Danii. Okay, you thought we was gonna be into this, They knew what was coming. They knew what was coming. We kind of did like this, just last time. Nah.
Now you're going, oh.
Now we about to take it to the hilt, because the majority of the Blerdicorns are coming here. They love the conversations, but it's always good to identify with others and their fandoms. And you really made me smile when we chatted last time, because you did, like you said, you didn't realize what a Blerd was. But you're not just a Blerd. You're a Blerdicorn. You're a superhero. You realize that. You realize that, right? Your mutant gene has been there all along, laying dormant within yourself. And then you came across people like Lady Mandalore and Lady Geek by Heart and myself. It was like, bing! Oh my God.
It's how she got the surgeon. It came out.
Yep.
I know what that is.
The Terrigen Mist was known as like, I have this superpower. Yes, you do. Wiggly screen. So I'm really curious. What are your fandoms?
Before we get into my full fandom, I just want to give a shout out to Jennifer Kale for representing me. That's Sashir Zamata in Agatha All Along. I don't know if you guys seen that, but Marvel.
Yes.
So all through my childhood, you know, you try to pick and choose who represents you. You know, is it the brown, the yellow Power Ranger, or is it Storm? And then there's no one else, and you try to figure out who you're gonna be. But you know, Jennifer Kale, I don't even know anything about this character, but like. She's a witch, and she's a witch of potions, and I am drinking my potions right now. And if you guys follow me on my energy plane, you know I gotta drink for that. But my number one fandom, Always and Forever.
Okay.
Always and Forever. Janeway is my captain. Okay. And Michael Burnham is my co-captain.
Wait, we were cool. We were cool. What happened?
What happened? Oh!
What happened?
Did it go sideways or what did I do?
I'm sorry.
Janeway. Not
to be fair, they did point that out before.
I'm trying to get my hands on the new comic series for Star Trek because Cisco has returned from the wormhole aliens, and his mama done given him the information that he needed to know about his heritage, and he has stepped into his power, and I need them books so I can find out what his power is and what his mama taught him. But yes, Cisco is up there. But Cisco was never really like, you know, the exploring captain, you know. He had all these beautiful women around him to solve his problems and report back to him. You know,
he was
like
Deep Space Nine. Yeah, I get it. I get
If you like this, then you need to go to Orville as well.
Oh yes. Orville is problematic right now for the Netflix series that shall not be named. You don't know?
I don't know the net. I don't know what you're getting.
Good Times. He went and made
Girl,
Good Times
wait.
over.
Okay, wait.
I forgot about that, to be honest with you. I really did because I didn't watch it. So
that blasphemy will never cross my TV screen.
I heard about it. I saw the trailer. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Trust me, that blasphemy will never cross anybody's screen with any type of respect. That was such an insult. And I grew up on the original show to see.
But yeah, Janeway is my captain. Michael Burnham is my co-captain. I am so glad that Star Trek has finally given us a brown female magical unicorn who we have been able to watch fail forward, come up, go 900 years into the future, and still put her DNA on it, right? Like.
So, question, because I'm not into Star Trek, I just know a little bit about it. My mom was a Trekkie. God rest her soul. Do you have to really watch the other ones to get into? Girl, you're talking about? I can't remember.
The great thing about Star Trek is that
I didn't want to watch it because I'm like, I don't know the history.
It's not Star Wars.
You don't need to.
It's not Star Wars.
Danny's beating me to it. You know,
it's the kind of thing where the founder really wanted you to just step into the world wherever you were and understand that, like, it's about different kinds of people solving problems together and coming up with an answer. And until we got into this new kind of TV world where everything just goes on and on and on and it's not episodic, everything before that is, here's a situation, here are different people from different walks of life who are adding their 2 cents and are getting through this impossible situation together. No matter what they look like, no matter what they're made up of, we are in this together and we're going to solve it together. And that's why Janeway is my favorite captain, because they were lost in the Delta Quadrant and they had to work together to find their way back home. Not only that, I'm also kind of 7 of 9. So there's that.
Yeah.
You know, my sensory pathways become accustomed to your sensory input, and then I have issues like Data.
Oh my goodness. Everybody, if you're watching this, put in the comments what your favorite sci-fi fandom is or franchise, because I'm really curious.
Aside from that, I love comic books. You know, I showed you last week all my Harley Quinn comics. For the last year, I've been diving into Poison Ivy and the work that she's doing with mushrooms and the Lamia and taking back the earth and curing people with the Lamia and having them really have these mind-opening experiences. And I just, you know, of course, you know, anything sci-fi, you know, SG, not SG1, SG1.
Stargate SG1.
Yeah. those are my things. I play World of Warcraft.
Really, Lady Mandalore? What? Star Wars?
I wasn't gonna put that. I was like, that doesn't give in. So I was gonna go somewhere different.
I love where Star Wars has gone with the last 3 TV shows, from The Mandalorian to Ahsoka, which, you know, I pulled the book out because I promised myself that once this episode was over, I'm gonna dive into my Ahsoka book. And then I love what they did with the Acolyte. I'm not happy with what happened, but I feel like it set stuff up for it to age the way Star Wars has been aging. And we're going to see her again, because she is the first sci-fi woman of color to dominate not only the protagonist, but also the antagonist role, all in the same show at 2 different age ranges.
Like, I don't, you got more faith in Disney than I do at this juncture. I'm going to just say that I think she deserves to be seen again. I think she deserves better writing. But it's sad to see her go.
But look at how Star Wars has developed, right? Star Wars has never been the thing that's happened back to back to back to back, right? We get an episode, we wait, we kind of go backwards, right? Then we go backwards again, then we go forwards. It's never been something that's happened like a TV show or like a trilogy, right? It's not in succession. It's something where we get a little taste and then we gotta wait. Then we get a little bit more of a taste and then we gotta wait. You know, rest in peace, James Earl Jones. He's been a part of the whole thing, but that spanned a big part of his career. So just because something happened now doesn't mean it's the end all be all for the Star Wars universe, because we bringing people back from the dead in Star Wars. Like, can we talk about that? We giving dead white people jobs in Star Wars, for real.
I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of wish they wouldn't, but you know, they could stop. I'm just saying, you could stop. You could stop.
Anything is possible in Star Wars. So I'm gonna keep the faith that in a couple years, even if it's a decade, we're gonna see what's going on with the Acolyte.
You know, listen, I hope that is, because I'm still itching for them to just stop with the Skywalker saga and even the Rey saga, because I think Rey's fine. She did her thing and that's it. Even though I wish that they actually would have made her evil. I just wish that they just would have followed through with that, because I think that would have been such a more interesting arc. But I know they're always just gonna keep on going back to the Star Wars saga, or in between episode 2 and 3, in between episode 4 and 5. You know,
I don't think we're gonna disagree on this one. I don't think so. I think they are. You can tell from the 3 or 4 things that they put out so far, they are actively trying to get the fuck away from the Skywalker saga. They are actively trying to get away from it. You have not seen not near one piece of Luke, Leia, or they kids outside of the prequels.
And outside of how Luke got Grogu. And he was training him. Now, it wasn't extensive. I will say that it wasn't extensive, but they still introduced it as still. And the fact that you have Ahsoka. Now, granted, the way that they're going with Ahsoka and her storyline, especially with oh God, the guy with the blue, the great villain,
Thrawn.
Yes. As long as they don't veer back in the fact that he's kind of like an acolyte of Vader, and then they just kind of go into that storyline between Ahsoka and him. That I'm interested in, but then they go backwards to go and embellish Vader.
He's not really an acolyte of Vader, though. And they cut off Luke. They cut Luke out from. They cut Luke out from Mandalorian. They said, "No, Grogu want to do his own shit."
I was so glad about that.
I reiterate my point. They ain't trying to have them hoes back in the house. They get of age, get your own job.
See, I see why I love bringing them on. Because they get to going, they get to going.
Oh man,
I'm here for it.
There's room for them to come back to Star Warsing. Mando, I think that they're gonna go on their own. I do.
Yeah, there's no way.
And I know that they're supposed to converge at some point. So, like again, they converge at some point. Without the Skywalker stuff, I'm good.
The minute we take politics out of storytelling, we're gonna go into a whole different direction of storytelling. But so long as politics are in there, we do the best we can and we take the wins where we get the wins. And any time that my daughter can see herself reflected on the screen, and that my son can see that my daughter can be something more than someone in the house and nowhere else,
baby,
I'm for it.
I literally cried when I seen Reva. I'm not gonna hold you. I was so emotional. I'm not gonna hold you. And to your point, I love what our daughters are coming into, because she does get to see that. And I'm like, it took me anywhere between 17 and almost 44 years for me to be able to see some of the things that are happening now. She gets to see at 5. She gets to see at 6 and 9. And I'm just like, I'm so excited about that. And sometimes that even makes me emotional.
That part. Imagine being a kid and, you know, and again, we talked about this before. What I grew up with and what I was familiar with was basically founded by white folks. So to see us creating worthwhile stories, characters, whether it's novels, comics, shows, movies, even music to a certain extent, because if I can't understand what you're saying, it's not a song. You're chanting. Okay.
Facts.
You're chanting, and you're probably chanting something like, I'm gonna go down to the bodega, but you're saying like 500 times fast.
Why are you trying to bring New York into this like that? Okay.
See, first of all, let me break this down real quick. Okay, let me break this down real quick. I love my New Yorkers. I love my New Yorker, but you know what's funny? All three of y'all, as soon as you mentioned money, the accent came out. As soon as I had the conversation about money, the conversation came out. When Danii was talking about their son, I was like, here we go. He's like, you know what? You get that $2, and then you go and get. I said, oh, here's the action. Here it
I don't know why you think you sound like some Italian mobster. I'm just saying.
I know.
Black New Yorkers do not sound like that.
No, not at all.
I know they don't. I know y'all don't sound like that. But good grief, I'm just saying. When it comes to money, here comes the accent. I was like, okay, there we go.
$2. Who doesn't want $2? Everybody wants $2.
Listen, my kids can't even buy potato chips with $2 out here. Like, it's crazy. Remember when you saved your quarters and you went and got your either 25-cent, or if you were rich, you got the 50-cent bag?
Yep.
Hey,
my kids can't even do that. They gotta have their Cash App, and it's gotta at least have $20 in it because they can get a snack from the grocery store.
That is so bad. That is
can't
so
even. Not even
bad.
with $2. You gotta have like $3 whole just to get a bag of chips.
Yeah.
But I am proud of the fact that in my fandom, it has come so far that like we don't have to fight over the yellow Power Ranger anymore. Like, we have so much other options other than I'm the yellow Power. No, I'm the yellow. Not well. If I'm not the yellow, then I have to be the pink one.
Yeah,
I'll be one of the boys. I'll be the green one.
It's like, your name is Kimberly. Okay, we'll leave that alone for now.
Like, we have so much more.
I'll be the Black Ranger. I'll take that. I'll just take that. That's fine.
Speaking of snacks,
I'll take that.
I was Tommy. Just, you know, I was the oddball out.
I was never a Power Ranger.
I was a member of a Sentai team. I just couldn't figure out which one.
I never got into it.
But you know what? Speaking of snacks, Danii has blessed us with the image event sketch of the next book. And let me tell you, this is adorable. Oh my gosh. Y'all want to see it?
Let's go.
You want to see it? Why are you covering your face? Don't do that. Don't do that. You better embrace this victory. What is wrong with you?
World
Oh my
premiere.
goodness.
Don't do that.
You are going to embrace this, okay? Hold on.
You make baby. You show baby. What do you do?
It's like, what about the whole thing? And no, child, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, you gonna cook? You gonna teach us how to cook?
That is adorable. I love
Make
it.
sure that you have some kind of recipe at the back, so that
Yes.
yes. Okay, there we go.
Yes. So book 2 is all about magic happenings in the kitchen. So it's about math and science, but there's no math and science. There's magic and hungry kids who decide that they want to learn how to make all the foods that grandma and daddy makes from back home in Trinidad. And they want doubles. And so they get up and they go into the pantry and they do their research and they get their ingredients. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the book that really bring the book to life for me, that make it different from book 1, where we get to actually dive into a day in the life of them just making a magical mess and everything being against them. And you can look at it and say, oh my God, they are failing, but they are absolutely learning and coming to grips with their motor skills, with their memory, with how to break an egg, with how to knead dough, and what are the right measurements. And the first half of the book, they are absolutely failing, and that's okay because they're failing forward. And they realize that the magic of cooking and baking is in the patience and in the detail, the attention to detail, and the things that they have to focus on rather than just having fun making science. Now they have to get down to the math. You asked earlier, how do you really bring home math for kids? Well, when they're hungry and they put too much salt in the food and can't eat it, they gonna remember that math skill next time. Like if it's supposed to be a half a teaspoon, they gonna remember it's a half a teaspoon, not a half tablespoon. They gonna remember when they want pancakes and mommy and daddy aren't moving fast enough to make them pancakes. They gonna remember those math skills on how much exactly they need to pour in, because the consequence is their hunger. And so the recipes are going to be Trinidadian. We're going to make some doubles and some roti, and it's
making me
a wild ride.
Stop that! You are making me hungry right now. That's not
right.
Cool.
Because I definitely haven't eaten yet. So,
oh yeah.
So we know Dani's fandoms are Star Trek, of course, and comics, anime. We did gleam on anime for a little bit there, my friend. Do you have a franchise that you are a fan of out of all of the ones that you've seen?
So I'm definitely into Demon Slayer. Thanks for putting me onto that. I am working on my list in Demon Slayer, like I said this week. Just Tanjiro's breathing technique, it was everything that I needed in my life this week. And so I'm going to continue down that road. I know you guys are not into it, but I do love One Piece. I am so
I do too. Don't this
like I haven't gotten into it yet.
Lady Mandalore is the one who's having an aversion.
Like Luffy's all about like, come, what is your dream? Come with me and you can live your dream. And that's me. And so I love One Piece. I'm so excited to see Inuyasha on Netflix, because back in the day, Inuyasha was my joint. It was hard to watch it because we didn't have the streaming platforms, and wherever we could, download some stuff illegally, we were able to get it. We were able to catch it on Cartoon Network, but you had to catch it on the rerun.
Oh gosh, no comment.
I don't think Ninja Turtles counts as anime because that's made by Americans, but it's gone sort of like the anime style with the extreme graphics. So I love that. I know that's not anime though, so don't come for me, people. Blerds, don't come for me. I know it's not.
First of all, we are not going to do that because you are family. So guess what? If they come for you, you got backup.
You mind your goddamn business.
But you can burn me at the stake for this. Dragon Ball Z.
Wait a minute, hold on. What you mean?
Why burn you at the stake? Why?
Because I know a lot of people are into it, and like everyone I've ever dated has been into Dragon Ball Z, and they always love Goku more than me. And so like me and Goku got issues, and now my son is in to Dragon Ball Z, and my partner is, but they at least are reading the books, but they still watching the show and the video game, and it's like generations later, and I'm like, why is this thing still alive? Like, can he just die and stay dead? Why is he coming back? Like,
okay, to be fair,
he's
starting
back.
out,
Like, why?
Okay, I will say, you have every right to be that way because sometimes the fandom can be toxic. But I will tell anyone this: go to Dragon Ball Super and watch the Tournament of Power.
No, watch Goku Black first, and then the Tournament of Power.
Wait.
Okay, yeah, Goku Black.
Okay, the Cell
I love that saga.
Core.
Well, the Cell Saga
is core. It's core. You
yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you. Why are you yelling at me, yo? Why are you yelling at me, man?
You trying to make her jump?
I'm not. I'm trying to get them to understand that there are things that are part of Dragon Ball that are not tedious and trying. Okay.
But this is Dragon Ball Z. Look. Episode 1. Episode 2.
Pacing is a little bit better. Yes. You are not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Pacing is a little bit better.
And what of it? What? Ma'am,
let's go try to animate my book and looking at anime like they're not even animating. It's just a still with screaming and thoughts. Like, I don't need to animate. Why am I going hard animating here? Like,
you gonna make me so at least it's different. They're doing different poses in different episodes, and they're having different conversations.
Oh my gosh!
Goku to get out of the damn hyperbolic chamber or some shit like that. Okay.
It has flaws, yes, I will admit, but it's not that bad. It ain't 1,000 episodes, and we still ain't got no goddamn real reason why we here type of shit. I'm just saying. At least we move shit along eventually. I'm just saying.
Okay, I would say there's another series out that has the crazy longevity that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's Case Closed. Case Closed is still happening. This young kid was poisoned, became a child, and is solving cases to this very day as a 3rd grader. And ain't nobody pissed off about this? Good, because I love that show. I love it. It is literally Law and Order in anime form. I said what I said.
Oh,
Case sounds like an unschool thing. I like that.
Case Closed, or they call it Detective Conan. In Japan, it is phenomenal because the main character in English is Jimmy Kudo. A teenage detective solves everything. The police can't stand him, but they bring him in because he solves the cases. He came across a very shady deal happening, got knocked out. They thought they were poisoning him. The solution didn't poison him. It turned him into a 3rd grader. It shrunk him to the size of a child. So now he is under another assumed persona as Conan Edogawa, and he is a 3rd grader. He's got his kids, and he's staying with a detective of the girl that he likes. The detective's girl that he likes, the detective is her father, and he uses his father or her father to solve the cases. And it will get you every time, because when you see how this thing is solved, it's just entertaining. I love it. I genuinely love it.
That really sounds like an unschool thing. A 3rd grader out there in the world living life, doing things.
Mm-hmm. A teenager in a 3rd grader's body, and he is trying to like, I want my body back. I solved the cases, but I want my body back. I'm sick of y'all. Tired of kids. Tired of you. I want my body back.
It's on Prime.
Cool. Mm-hmm. It's on Prime, Crunchyroll. I think it's on Hulu. Don't quote me. But it's worth the watch. I've been watching it for a while, and my son actually got me into it. He's like, "Hey, Dad, you should watch Case Closed." What is it, son?
Oh, no,
it's a great show. He had a deep voice at 10 years old. I still don't know how to figure that out. He's in his 30s now. I still can't figure out how he got a deeper voice than I did as a kid. But I will tell y'all this. If y'all are watching this amazing show today, go support Danii and the tribe. Definitely go pick up this book. This book is absolutely incredible. When I say it's something that is much needed out here, a different perspective is always good, because if you stick to the same thought process every time, you're going to miss out on all the gems of the world. And this is truly a diamond wrapped in platinum that Danii has brought forth. So I am thoroughly appreciative of the chance to chat with you and bring my friends and my family into this too. This is so dope. Oh my gosh, it's everything's blah blah blah. So, but you're officially part of this, the Blerdicorn crew. So don't even think twice about backing out of this, okay? Don't even think don't even think once about backing out. You stuck, okay? You're a Blerdicorn. Just accept it. What is wrong with you, lady?
I could do that too, girl. Okay.
I was like, let me not. I don't want to draw too much.
See, if I do that, I'll spin because there's nothing here. I had to work harder, so sorry, I can't be a part of that trial. Sorry about that.
It's fine. You can do this.
Do the beard. Do the Fu Manchu.
This. You are not to my son.
There you go.
Not to my son. Okay. I got to do it twice to get it back, because the beard will stick in one direction if I do it too much. Like, it's like, oh, so see the hair pointing that way? See, it's like, okay, back the other way. Okay, there we go. I'm back to looking human again. I would like to leave the floor to Danii. Please do me a favor, my dear, and tell everybody where they can find you, show you love, and support you.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. You can find my book on unschooldiscoveries.com. Also, you can find it anywhere online where books are sold that you like to buy books from. They don't pay me to say that, but it is available. And if you'd like to follow along the journey in what I'm doing, of course, Unschooled Discoveries on Instagram, or you can follow us on our podcast, Unschool Pages of Our Lives. We have Unschool Pages of Our Lives on TikTok, on Instagram, on that X thing. I don't really understand it, but we there. And then, of course, we have Unschool Page of Our Lives podcast. We'll be coming back with season 3. We're going to talk about space camp. We're going to talk about Korea. We're going to talk about our new learning season. We are going to talk about all kinds of things that unschoolers have going on in their minds, and just showcase to you what a day in the life of unschooling can look like. And we hope that you will join us for the screaming, for the noise, for the fun, for the deep conversations, and the stories that we tell along the way. And again, you can find me anywhere online. Just Google Danii Oliver and something's going to come up. It might be a weird concoction to clear your allergies in the form of a drink.
Wow.
Or, it might be beer, because I do that too. Or it might be Unschooled Discovery. So I hope to find you and talk to you anywhere you reach me from.
Nice.
You know what? That's wild, but I love it. I love it. You are absolutely incredible. Genuinely, what you are doing is adding to the beautiful tapestry that is a willingness to open your mind to other possibilities than what's been structured out there. So thank you. Thank you for just doing this and just showing something amazing.
Thanks for having me. I deeply appreciate it.
Well, you one of us.
You the world.
Used to. So, Lady Mandalore, I want you to tell where everybody can find you and show you love.
Yes. Hi. Hello. You can find me on the internet at Roomful of Blerds on all of my socials. You can also find me and this lovely head Blerdicorn in charge. Right there. Navy Montel, me and him.
She had one job.
One job. You can find us at Roomful of Blerds on YouTube and Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about comics, mainstream, indie, pop culture stuff, something that maybe pissed us off in the week for a couple of minutes too, just to get that off our chest. Therapy is a podcast too. You can also find me on TikTok. I do voice acting, and I'm pretty goddamn good at it. I'm not going to say, I'm gonna toot my own horn. I will not
She's
be
extraordinary.
Humble.
She's
love
extraordinary.
That for you.
She's extraordinary.
Hire me.
We need to talk backstage.
Ooh, we about to do some networking. Let's go.
All right.
All right.
Range. Range. All the time, everywhere. Yay! Yeah, huh? See, look.
That irony was the best range that just came out so authentically.
Oh my gosh, everything is so peachy. Yeah.
That's facts.
All right.
Okay, bye.
So
All right.
said, toot your own horn on IG, and that's right.
Real to horror. Tell them where they can find you, my dear.
Hello, everybody. I am Lainey from Geek by Hart. I am saying that I am on Geek by Hart on all socials, TikTok, IG, and YouTube. All right. You can find us, me and my husband, we run Geek by Heart. You can find us talking about movies. You can find us talking about trailers. I am currently on my Hogwarts Legacy journey. So I am streaming about 2 or 3 times a week now consistently. I've been trying to say this for like the last 9 months, and it's finally come to fruition. So I'm gonna run with it. I hope I'm gonna test actually to see if I can stream on Twitch not Twitch, on my Switch. Because the new Zelda's coming out, and anyone who knows me knows I love me a Zelda game. So, and then after that, in 2 weeks' time, it's gonna be Silent Hill. So I'm gonna be busy.
Pass.
Okay.
I'm actually looking forward to Silent Hill. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking.
I want to see what they're doing with it. Okay, even if it's a hot garbage, trashy mess, and it might be, I'm still gonna play it. Okay, and then still be like critiquing it while I'm playing it.
Goodness.
But yeah. Just to do what you love, and I'm trying to feel like mantras and stuff. So the one that comes to me is just like, do what you love, and be yourself while doing it, and you'll be happy.
I ain't mad at that. Thank you, my dear. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Blerds of all ages, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to know where I'm at, YouTube is one of the places. I'm across social media. If you want to see what me and the beard are up to, just come and check us out and hang out. We're going to have more Blerdicorn Convos coming up here very shortly. If you would like to get something from Otaku Noir, please use any of our names as a promo code, and you will get something off of your order, because we support Blerd-owned businesses, we support Blerd creators, we support the whole Blerdosphere, okay? Because guess what? You come to the Blerdosac, or it's a cul-de-sac for Blerd, so it's a Blerdosac. So make sure that you bring your beverages, bring your lawn chair, sit back and relax and chill, because it's all about the conversation. It's never about the argument. I said, wow, what in the world? What in the world? Okay. You know what?
Are we doing an episode about drinks now? I'll go get my bottles.
See, first of all, I'm not going to get caught off guard because of you. Okay.
Listen, I got some Baileys calling my name. Stop playing.
Oh, Lord.
And you don't want me to do that because I got an
there they go.
Look at that.
What I be
Y'all ain't never heard about that. Y'all ain't never heard about that.
This is my mezcal.
I don't know about that.
You know, hold on. Y'all gonna leave me out there like that. Hold on.
A pinna jalapeno, margarita. Oh, good Lord.
Isotol.
Oh, wait. I got old people shit.
Since we talking about drinking, I be drinking.
See, y'all ain't gonna leave me out there, okay? Y'all gonna be sick of me, okay? Don't do it, okay?
I was about to say, listen, I'm on an empty stomach too, so I will sign off in like 2 minutes.
Have y'all tried Sotol?
I will see a
You guys tried Sotol?
I've never even heard of that before.
So Sotol is its own liquor. It's not tequila. It could be classified as a mezcal, but is made from desert cactus, not necessarily agave.
That shit is popping. Let me tell you, right?
It's its own flavor. It does not need mixers. You can put mixers in it. Only natural stuff. Please do not go out there and put soda, which has nanoparticles in it. Do not put high fructose corn syrup in it. You can do some lemon. You could do some ginger, real ginger. But Sotol, it's its own flavor. It's its own thing. It just needs ice. Sorry.
It is, as the children say, lit.
I hate you so much.
That should be bobbing.
It's clutch.
As the youngins be saying, it be on point.
Never no cap.
I cannot with y'all.
Sorry. Hi.
My partner just went to Korea and had a 4-year-old barrel age soju that was not for sale. And he showed the picture. He's like, you're not gonna believe me. It's not for sale. And he was like, it is the best soju that he has had ever.
Why
And I'm
why
like
why would
so
he do that?
jealous.
Why would he hurt you?
Why would he do
Hurt you
that?
that way? That's just
That was a teasing moment. It's like,
oh
hun, guess what I can't pick up, but I can show you. It's amazing. I hate you so much right now. I hate you. Wait till you get home.
But see, if they had did that right as my partner and not told me about it, that would be cheating. So we don't cheat on each other with alcohol. We share the experiences.
But
and
that's
bring
what
it
I'm
home.
saying. Bring me something back.
You know what? I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that, but still, but I live alone, so I'm greedy. I don't share with anybody. I live by myself. I just look at the TV and go, "It's just you and me. That's all. It's just you and me." So, like, this is great right here. It's you and me.
Okay, so if that be the case, one day put us on a group chat and we'll. It's just you and us. How about that?
Hey,
I'm down with
I'm
that.
for it.
I'm down with like a flat with no 4 flats with no spare in the middle of the desert. Let's go.
All right.
I'm down with that. But everybody, thank you.
Superhero cocktails, and I'll share the
Hey,
recipe.
you know what?
We'll do a flight
don't
tasting.
threaten me with a good time. Ooh.
We can create. You know what? Create the Blerdicorn Lounge. Everybody bring a beverage. I am down with it. Ooh, see there, the genius comes in from the melanation. You see the genius? Oh my gosh, you'll be like,
My
IG,
language.
bring your cups, bring your bottles, because we about to go into some topics that y'all are not gonna like.
Salty.
I cannot with y'all. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Please go follow Danii. Go follow their adventures. Go pick up the book and just follow along and share and support. Okay, support costs absolutely nothing, and you could bring such an impact on someone's life, especially if they're in the creative space. You know, we're part of the Blur's Eye View crew. Each of us has our own things, but together, collective, we are a Justice League of Melanation. So do not deny yourself the opportunity to support creators out there like Danii, like Lady Mandalore, like Lainey, like myself, along with anybody else, okay? But in the meantime and in between time, as I tell all of you beautiful, sexy people out there, please continue to do this for me and all these wonderful people over here. If you can do it for all these folks and do it for myself, we good. Please stay nerdy, stay geeky, and always stay sexy.
Bang bang.
Thank y'all so much for popping up here. It's like bang bang. Really? We couldn't even let it in on a promise. Oh my gosh. You know what? And Chris, facts. We absolutely are. This is redonkulous. Y'all are just wrong as 2 left shoes. But I love y'all.
Are you sure it's 2 left shoes? Nah. We right as everything.
Wow. And on that note, y'all have a great weekend. I will see y'all again with another Blerdicorn Convos in the future. I'll keep y'all posted. Danii, you are phenomenal. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.
Lady Mandalore, Lainey.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me. This is great.
You kidding me?
It was a pleasure to meet you, Lainey.
Thank you. Likewise, Danii.
Oh, don't worry. We're talking after we sign off here. So anyway.
Oh. You know I'm going to fix my plate. You know how I do, so.
You know what? No comment. See you later, everybody.